What's up everybody? In today's video, I'm gonna go over some stuff that I really think you need to know if you're thinking about moving to the state of Maryland. This is not a pros and cons video. I've made those, so if that's what you're looking for, go check those out. This is more about stuff that I think you just really should know if you're thinking about moving here. So if you are thinking about it, or if you're just curious what I think you should know, stay tuned and let's just dive right in. Okay, so first I'm gonna give you a very brief history lesson on the state of Maryland. We were one of the original 13 colonies. The state attained statehood on April 28, 1788, making it the 7th state to join the Union. Annapolis and Baltimore were both once capitals of the United States before Washington, D.C. became the capital. And Maryland's nickname is the Old Line State, which was given to it during the Revolutionary War. Maryland is the 42nd biggest state, and last but not least, we have about 6 million people. So now let's talk about Maryland's flag, because if you're moving here, you have to know how much we love our flag. I mean, I really do think it's the coolest flag in all of the states. And I hope that you agree with me, because if you come here, you're gonna see it on everything. You're gonna see it on bumper stickers, you're gonna see it on blankets, on pillows. Everywhere you look, you're gonna see our Maryland flag. So let me just tell you a little bit about it. Maryland flag bears the coat of arms of the Calvert and Crossland families. These are the families that first founded the state of Maryland. There's bold colors, and these two coat of arms really make it very unique. The flag was first flown in October of 1880. And if you're thinking about moving here, well, I really hope you like blue crabs, because here in Maryland, we are known for our blue crabs. Growing up here, I'm telling you, we used to get bushels of these crabs and have big parties with a keg of beer, don't tell my parents. And we would just pick these crabs and everyone would have a good time. They have become more and more scarce lately, so it does kind of scare me, but they're still around, they're just more expensive. We actually produce all the blue crabs for the country. So if you like crabs, or if you don't, you'll get to like them. Come to Maryland and start picking those blue crabs. And let's talk about the diversity here in Maryland, both with the people and the terrain. They call Maryland Little America because of our diverse terrain. You can literally go to the beaches and see the Atlantic Ocean. You can climb the Appalachian Trail. You can go to the historic seaside city of Annapolis, or go to the bustling city of Baltimore. You basically have everything here in Maryland except the desert, but really you have anything you could possibly want to find as far as the terrain. And as far as the people, in Maryland we have 28 counties and Baltimore City, and every county is really very different from the others. Some counties you'll find very liberal, some counties you'll find very conservative. In our little mighty state, you can really find all different types of people that you can relate to. It really is quite impressive. Even if you look at our politics in Maryland, we have a Republican governor today in the summer of 2022, but we have Democratic senators. As far as presidential elections, we voted Republican 10 times and Democrat 20 times in the last 30 presidential elections. So if you're looking for a state that has a lot of diversity, both in the people and the terrain, Maryland is the perfect choice for you. And let's talk about our accent, because honestly, I don't think we have one. Do you think I have an accent? Comment below, I want to know. But people tend to say that they think that in Maryland we have a funny accent, that we say hun all the time. Hun this, hun that. But I think they say hun a lot in Baltimore. I'm in Montgomery County, right outside of DC. But I do have to assure you, in the state of Maryland, we don't have a funny accent and we don't say hun all the time. That I can assure you.
How about them O's, hon? Natty boo, hon.
How you doing, hon?
Another thing you need to know is when people mention the DMV, they're not talking about going to get their car fixed. It's kind of a recent term. Growing up here, we never called DC, Maryland, and Virginia the DMV, but moving back here 16 years ago, it's kind of common practice, especially when you're watching TV and they talk on the news. So when you hear DMV, that stands for DC, Maryland, and Virginia, basically the closest counties to DC, Montgomery County or PG County, and Northern Virginia, that's considered the DMV. It's important that you know that, otherwise you may think everyone's talking about getting their cars fixed. And while we're on the subject of the DMV, it's important that you do realize that we do border DC. So if you live in Maryland, you have access to everything DC has to offer. All of their restaurants, the Kennedy Center, the beautiful monuments, all of that culture is right next door if you live in Maryland and want to head into DC. And a little fun fact, Maryland actually donated some of the land that became DC. I think Virginia did too, and then they took it back, but I'm not 100% sure of that. But I do know that Maryland did donate land that did become DC. The metro from DC does come out into Maryland and goes into Virginia, so you have really easy access to get into the city. So you get all that benefit of living in Maryland, but you get direct access into one of the most beautiful, majestic cities, I think, in the world, Washington, DC. And if you love being outside and love going to different parks, well, our little state of Maryland has 53 state parks and 18 national parks right here. Some of the most popular parks are Assateague Island, where you'll see wild horses roaming free, or my favorite, Great Falls National Park and the Billy Goat Trail, which is just stunning. You can hike, you can take your dog, you can hike on rocks, have a picnic, see these beautiful falls, say hello to Virginia across the way. It's really stunning. So if you love parks and you love doing things outside, Maryland is a great choice. Another thing that I believe is true in the state of Maryland is I think that the people here are very highly educated. I mean, it makes sense. We have the NIH here, the National Institute of Health. We have the Walter Reed Medical Center here. We have one of the best universities, Johns Hopkins University and Johns Hopkins Hospital and Medical School here. We just have a lot of really big institutions here that calls for highly educated people. We're also, like I said, right next door to DC, where you have the World Bank. There's just a lot of jobs here that call for really highly educated people right here in the state of Maryland. So if you're thinking about making a move and you're trying to figure out where you'd like to live within our country, I would highly suggest giving Maryland a shot. I mean, we've got everything you could possibly want. All the different diverse terrain, all different types of people, all different types of politics, access to one of the greatest cities in the world. We really have everything you could possibly want here in Maryland. Plus, you get to experience all 4 seasons because the weather here is great. You get those hot, balmy summers, a little humid for my taste, but they are nice and hot. You have access to, like I said, the Atlantic Ocean. You get snow in the winter, but not too much that it's overwhelming, just enough that you can have some fun, and the kids' schools will always get canceled. Just be aware of that. And you get the fall and the spring, all those beautiful leaves changing in the fall and the spring flowers. Plus, you have access to the cherry blossoms in the spring right next door in DC. So if you're thinking about making a move, I'd say you should consider Maryland. And if you'd like our help, I have been a realtor here in Maryland and DC for 18 years. Just send us an email, we'll set up a Zoom, we'll get you started. We'd love to help you make this move as seamless as possible. And if you do enjoy these videos, please consider subscribing to our channel, smashing that like button, and sharing it with a friend. It helps us with the YouTube algorithm and motivates us to make more videos. I really appreciate you watching, and I hope you see how much I love our state of Maryland, and I'd love to talk to you about it whenever you want. Thanks again. Bye.